All right. Thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate each and everyone joining me on this live broadcast. And we are reviewing this footage right off from uh, one of the YouTube video that shows that Iran attacked directly Israel right from the Iranian soul. That's what they did. They directly attacked Israel from Iran. And then also dozen of missiles that came from Yemen, from a bunch of other countries as well to attack Israel from all different directions. This is a retaliations against Israel, who blasted their Iranian embassies in Syria. So this is Iran's response, that you see that dozens of missiles are raining down from the sky. And this is 2 a.m. in the morning, or on Sunday. But these are the missiles that firing directly into Israel. Israel claimed not major destruction in the country, but what they have occurred is a young girl, about 7 years old girl, who was sustained injuries. But at the same time, now you know, and you can only imagine what is the next step that Israel will take to respond, because if Israel don't respond, that's only going to bolden Iran to make these kind of efforts to attack Israel from um, different direction. U.S. dozens of missiles that when Israel shot at uh, dozens of missiles when Iran shot at Israel. A lot of the missiles were intercepted, but not Israeli air. But then Israel also sealed their air defense. But at the same time, the U.S. and British got involved, and U.S. also shot down dozens of Iranians missiles. And same thing with Israel is also defended themselves very well. And now Benjamin Netanyahu said that they are absolutely prepared and ready for any sorts of response or any sorts of situations that can turn into. But the world is at the brink of World War III, and that's why we got to be on a very high alert, as these attacks could also potentially carry out in the United States as well. Just because there is also, United States is very big, diverse country, so we want to make sure that there is no source of attack carry out here in the United States as well. I want to bring on the news to you more from the other perspective as well. John Bolt, who was actually the U.S. Secretary in the under the Trump administration. So here we go. Let's bring him on.
I want to bring in the former United States ambassador to the United Nations, John Bolton. He was also President Trump's national security advisor. As you know, Ambassador, Israel's ambassador is calling for the UN Security Council to immediately convene following these attacks. What's your assessment of what's going on right now?
Well, nothing's going to happen in the Security Council, that's for sure. I mean, what we had tonight was a massive failure of Israeli and American deterrence, massive failure, a 200 ballistic missile, cruise missile, drone failure. And I think, notwithstanding that there appears to be very little damage, fingers crossed until we get the final assessment. And thank God if the death toll is low or non-existent. And while we're at it, let's thank George W. Bush for getting out of the ABM Treaty of 1972, unleashing American missiles.
Okay, I want to bring on another news. So is getting into very much detail of it. I want to bring another news outlets, and there we go to you.
In a major escalation of the crisis in the Middle East, Iran has started a direct attack on Israel by launching dozens of drones to attack targets there. They're expected to reach Israel in the next couple of hours. Israel says its armed forces are on full alert with combat planes in the air. Iran has said it wants revenge for a suspected Israeli attack almost 2 weeks ago on its consulate in Damascus, when the US, President Joe Biden, has cut short his weekend to return to the White House for briefings on the crisis. Well, in a moment, we'll get the very latest from Washington and our correspondent there, Will Vernon. First, though, let's go straight to James Landale, who's live for us in Jerusalem tonight. And James, this is an attack that Israel has been expecting for several days now.
Yeah, that's right, Ben. Ever since that attack on the Iranian consulate in Syria, there's been growing speculation that Iran will have to respond in some way. There's been talk about different types of attack, but it now appears that attack is underway. Military spokesmen here in Israel say that drones have now been launched from Iran. They are directed towards Israel. There have been reports from Iraq.
So these were the drones that you were talking about earlier that were launched towards Israel. But also, when you look into the different, what is actually happening was Israel was rattled by air raid sirens and thunderous booms, and Iran launched a barrage of drones and missiles in a retaliatory strike again, according to Israeli authorities. And then reports indicates that over 200 missiles, can you believe that over 200 missiles that were and drones were unleashed from Iran towards Israel? Daniel Hagari, spokesman person for the Israeli Defense Force, IDF, stated that the most of the projectiles were successfully intercepted, but there were instances of missiles breaching Israeli airspace. Tragically, at least one child sustained injuries during the attack. While the IDF acknowledged injuries were resulting from the Iranian assault, particularly at a military installation in southern Israel. Specifically, details were not made available right away, but at the same time, it is very crucial time that we are seeing this horrific event is taking place. What I'm seeing from the both sides, the situations is not being de-escalated, but it's being escalated at the same times to take it to the further next level. But what I'm afraid of that Israel and the U.S. and the Britain taking the next steps to because U.S. stepping in, this is the biggest thing, because if U.S. totally step into the game, that could like lead into something bigger, because that's going to have other Islamic nations to stepping in as well in this particular situations to make it more escalated to the point where this could turn into World War III, because then Iran's allies is going to kick in, as well as the United States allies, and also support from the allies nations surrounded by is also could lead into a potential World War III. But we don't want to head in that direction. Why do I say that? Because war is always bad, whether is you're winning or losing, because on the both side there is a destruction happen, and people lose things, and also it could lead into something very horrific. But I want to take it more from the perspective of a biblical prophecy that, as earlier was talking about, the Israel is a nation of God. It's God's chosen people. And there is a prophecy, Israeli prophecies in the Bibles, that the nations will gather together and will come against Israel, and they will try to overthrow Israel so they can take the land or the promised land. But that is the very moment God will step in and will overthrow the other government. I don't exactly know if that's going to turn into Gog-Magog war, but at the same time, this could, situations could escalate where before you know that it could lead into a totally different path. But as of right now, there is, as I was showing you earlier, there's hour by hour, minute by minute, I am trying to get information, that trying to keep my eye on these situations, because I know this is a very sensitive a topic right now for social media, and also people who are coming on and those who don't even know what's happening and taking place. But we need to really be closely watching on what could happen over time. And this is very crucial. So let me bring on from another news outlet. Excuse me. They're talking about the Israel launched dozens of attack, global reactions. What's the global? What's other world powers is reacting to this situations that what Iran occurred. No, here we go.
Blown up, Iran has stated an airborne attack against Israel, launching over 200 drones as part of what it calls Operation True Promise. Iran says ballistic missiles have also been fired here.
Okay, take a look at that. These are the missiles, and the siren is on the whole entire country is up and alerted. What is happening? What is taking place is I don't wish anybody on anybody's children. I'm thinking about what young children.
These are the first visuals we have of the missiles fired by Iran, a barrage of objects seen flying through the night sky over Bethlehem from Iran and headed towards Israel. Sirens were activated in Jerusalem at around 1:45 a.m. local time.
Okay.
Loud explosions were heard, with the air defense systems shooting down objects over the city. The multiple interceptions lit up the night sky here. As air raid sirens ring out, the Israel Defense Forces have assured people that the aerial defense array is fully operational and is intercepting threats wherever required. An alert has been raised that people may hear explosions from interceptions or debris falling. Reacting to this attack, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has looked to reassure citizens that the country is ready for every scenario, as he underscored that Israel would hit back and defeat its enemies.
Okay, so as you were hearing, this is the news, and this is, as I was saying, it's getting escalated minute by minute to a point where this is going to lead into really boots on the grounds, and really there at this moment there couldn't be any talks be held between both government leaders, because as you know that the United States don't have a very good relationship with Iran, and that's why there is no offer on the table or talks on the table is happening. On the other side, Joe Biden cut short his vacation from Delaware, his beach home, and returned back to the White House to further talk about how they are going to defend the nation of Israel, because United States have their very close relationship. As you know, Israel is their only ally in the middle, strong ally. I shouldn't say only, but one of the strongest ally and the long-standing ally in the Middle East. Because earlier I was talking about the Israel, the significance. When you think about the significance of Israel, just for a moment, think about that significance of Israel being in that particular region. It also gives a Western world advantage. Why? Because this is one of the biggest and strongest democracy in that region, and that's why Israel is very important to the United States. Beside, I'm talking about the biblical value. There a lot of Christians from the United States support the nation of Israel because God said so, and we pray for the nation of Israel. Our Bible tells, pray for Israel, pray for the peace of Jerusalem. And also prophetically, when you look at it, Bible talked about all the situations. That's what is taking place right now. And I know there's a lot of people who are from different parts of the world that follows me on the social media. They might not agree with my point of view. They might say a very not nice things, but at the same time, you got to take a look at it, where this war it really escalated from. This went from Hamas firing over missiles. One morning, Israeli got up and, welcomed a lot of the missiles and saw a lot of the missiles at their home. And maybe I used the wrong word, welcome, but they've seen a lot of missiles that fire into their country. And then Israel response was which is back in October happened. And from that point on, the situations in Ukraine and Russia was happening. So this is rolling like a snowball, it's snowballing from that point on. And Pakistan and Afghanistan situations happening. I don't know if you were aware of that. because there was really confrontations that were happening between these two countries as well in the Middle East, but the various other countries, and then now Iran direct attack. This is the very first time Iran attacking Israel directly from the mainland of Iran, and that's why it's shocking. And I want to bring you to what Benjamin Netanyahu are saying right now over this, the direct report from him. I know he's going to speak into in Israel in Hebrew, but at the same time, I want you to be able to listen that. But stick around. If you can share this video, that will be really great. If you can't share that, I understand perfectly fine. But let's hear from Benjamin Netanyahu. This is a 57-second message that I want to bring on real quick, so you can take a look at it, and I want to hear from you what you think. So here we go.
האחרונות, אזרחי ישראל, בשנים האחרונות, וביתר שאת בשבועות האחרונים, ישראל נערכת לאפשרות של תקיפה ישירה מאיראן. מערכות ההגנה שלנו פרוסות. אנחנו ערוכים לכל תרחיש, הן בהגנה והן בהתקפה. מדינת ישראל חזקה, צה"ל חזק, הציבור חזק. אנחנו מעריכים את ההתייצבות של ארצות הברית לצידה של ישראל, וכן את התמיכה של בריטניה, צרפת ומדינות רבות אחרות. קבעתי עיקרון ברור. מי שפוגע בנו, אנחנו פוגעים בו. אנחנו נגן על עצמנו מול כל איום, ונעשה זאת בקור רוח ובנחישות. אני יודע שגם אתם, אזרחי ישראל, שומרים על קור רוח. אני קורא לכם לשמוע להנחיות פיקוד העורף. יחד נעמוד, ובעזרת השם, יחד נתגבר על כל אויבינו.
Okay, this is the big one right here. Benjamin Netanyahu, the state address right there from the nation of Israel, talking about that they've been preparing and expecting since the attack of, since the Israeli attacked Iranian embassy in Syria. They've been preparing because they knew that Iran is going to retaliate and going to give them not very good, nice treatment, of course, because the embassy of Iranian were bombed in Syria, and that's where we are right now looking at it. So I want you to continue to share this video. I appreciate you for staying with me on this news, because even though it's late night here in Houston, Texas, but I wanted to stay on this issue because we are seeing that situations right now is escalating to the point where we need to be concerned what is happening right now in the nation of Israel, because I know Iran is, when they see that the US and the Britain and the France is getting involved, because these are world power, and now Iran, and I'm sure Iran's allies also getting prepared for that. So I want to read some from here, Al Jazeera as well. So Israel war in Gaza live. It talks about Iran launches retaliatory attack on Israel. Israel says more than 300 drones. And see, like the Al Jazeera saying Israel saying more than 300 drones. And then on the other website, if you see on CNN and other CBS, they are talking about 200 or something like that. But here we go. I want to take a look at that as well. So analysis right here. Israel says more than 300 drones and missiles launched at it from Iran, Iraq, and Yemen. Wow. Iran, Iraq, and Yemen, adding that the vast majority of them were intercepted. Iran says it's carried out the attack in response to an Israeli raid on the Iranian consulate in Syria on April 1st, and says that the matter can now be deemed concluded. So in Gaza, at least 19 Palestinians were killed and more than 200 wounded in 6 major Israeli attacks, while in the occupied West Bank, Israel settler continued attacks on the Palestinians and their homes, wounding at least 19 people. At least 33,685, 86 Palestinians have been killed and 76,309 wounded in Israel attacks on Gaza since October 7. And the death toll in Israel from Hamas October 7 attacks stands at 1,139, with dozens of people still held captive. What I was talking about earlier, that the war is not good on the both side. War is war, because right now, as you see, as what I just brought the news to you, that over 1,000 people since the time of this war between Israel and Hamas happened, more than 1,000 people on the Israel side were killed, and then on the other side, 76,000 people were injured, and some over close to, I want to go back to it. So some over 33,686 Palestinians have been killed. So you think about it, like what it actually took place is bad. It is not good, because on both sides, damage has done. The family has lost their loved one on the both sides, because war is never the solution. It's the peace. But when you look at the Iran, a lot of people say that, and also the people who calculate wars, talking about like Iran is, no matter what, they always want Israel to be wiped out. They want Israel to be gone, because they truly believe that the Israel land belongs to the Muslim people. That's what Iran believes, and that's what their belief system is. And that's why they say that it's unfair. Israel got to go. They are Westerner. And some rumors came also forward that the Jews that are living in Israel are not really Jew. They are from the West world. They are Westerners. They are not really a Jew of the Old Testament. But I feel like this rumor is being stirred up also, so they can divide the public. Because think about it, in the Bibles, in Psalms, in the Old Testament, excuse me, in Old Testament, it has been talked about God is going to scatter the nation of Israel, the Israeli people, all over the planet. And then God is going to bring them back to their homeland. And Israel prophecy, if you look at it, Israel prophecy coming back to Israel, it's apparent. If you look at it, it's in the Bible, ladies and gentlemen, and I will find that for you right now, for those people who are wondering where it's written. So Jeremiah 16, 15. So the Hebrew scriptures that says of Israel, for I will restore them to their own land. I can put that for you in there as well, for those people wondering, like, what am I talking about? Where did that found? So this is very, very important scriptures, ladies and gentlemen. Listen, this is absolutely very important. So here we go. It says, for I will restore them to their own land, which God is talking, gave to their fathers. So which God himself gave to, their fathers, children, Israel. So Jeremiah 16:15. But it will be said, as surely as the Lord lives, who brought the Israelites out of the land of the north and out of all the countries where he had banished them, for I will restore them to the land I gave their ancestors. So this is really the disagreements, because before the Israelite, before Jacob, God gave Jacob a name Israel. So Israel, all the children of Jacob, and really the Jewish people come from Judah. So God gave the Israel, the 12th tribe, this land. And when Israel sinned, they were scattered all over the world. God scattered them. And then God said, I will bring them. This is a Jeremiah prophecy. Very important, ladies and gentlemen. Pay very close attention. And if you can share this video, I would really appreciate that. This is a prophecy of Jeremiah 16:15. Jeremiah 16:15. I will restore their land and will bring them back together. That's why, now there is disagreements. And then also Masjid Aqsa being on the Israel rock, which is Israel land, which is called the Dome of the Rock, and Red Heifer prophecy, as we talked about that. And then also eclipse. Why these all events are taking place on this very particular dates. It's exactly right. Whenever solar eclipse happen, it's always taken place something crucial. And now you see that Israel, Hamas, Iran, Iraq, Yemen, all these nations that are attacking, it's just the beginning of it. It's just brewing up. And the reason I wanted to take you into the history, for some of the people may not know what is being taken place is already prophetically released. It's been there. It is not is something new. So I want to bring another video so to show. This is a video that I found, the dozens of rockets being fired coming down. So here we go, ladies and gentlemen. So these were the rockets that were coming and were directly fired by Iran. Over 200 rockets. Can you believe that? The massive attack. All right. As you see that this was the video that I played, I'm going to play it again so you can take a look at it. And it is getting very dangerous. I'm going to have to bring this video back because it's just bringing up the. Uh, there we go. We're going to bring that back. There we go. So that's how we are living in a very last days where no tolerance. There is no considerations of the people that live in the land, no considerations to the public, but it's had to happen. Why? Because it's scary, it's sad, it's unfathomable. You can't comprehend to the point that we are now dealing with all these things. IDF doing their best, and I think they have experience. They have fought wars, and Israel well-trained IDF. When I went to Israel, I seen that they not attack. I'm sorry. They trained their soldiers very well, and in separate social media posts, there were some Iranian launched missiles that were, coming in on the buildings, but at the same time, uh, none of the missiles touch Israel ground except for the one that the 7 years old girl were injured. But at the same time, we are the people. We, the people, got to stand with the nation of Israel, pray for the peace of Jerusalem. Listen, on the both side, we love Iranian people. Iranian people are good people, but the political side, this is what is it is detrimental to the society, because I met few Iranian people in the past, sweet people, good food, but at the same time, when you look at the political state of that country, it's not very good. I even read a book on this. It's called All the Shah's Men. If you have not read this book, please read that book. But at the same time, now the regime that taken over, it is not. It's only serves one purpose, and that's to wipe the nation of Israel. If you can continue to share with this video, I would really appreciate it, because this is very important message I want to deliver to the people. People need to understand historically what happened, and people also got to understand the historically how the nation of Israel is being, why it's being attacked, why the regime thinks that it's a Muslim land, this belongs to them, why it's all being taken place. So you ought to search for yourself. You ought to look for yourself what is happening, what is taking place. It is not some, mystery. It is like all been really part of the plan. But and thank you so much for coming on this broadcast. God bless you. And if you guys ever feel like, hey, we want to bless the cause, the ministry, and also what you're doing a great job. So I will encourage people. They can always go on. I'm going to type that in the in right there. You can go on Vision Ministries, visionministries.com. Again, visionministries.tv. Sorry, visionministries.tv. If you would like to help support the mission of Vision Ministries to preaching the gospel to over 2 billion people on the planet of the earth, please feel free to support. We do need support. We do need help. If you want these kind of broadcasts to continue go out to millions of people all over the world, then we do need your support. We want to spread a authentic, good information. We want to bring people legitimate information. We don't want to bring any information that is not good, but we want to bring not true, but we want to bring a real news to people. Would you also make sure go on Vision Television Network Facebook page, like, subscribe, share, comment, and also share through the WhatsApp. Any way you can help, that would